Ahora de Cuba la Bella, del Palacio de los Jugos, los chicharrones. Los vecinos aquí se enteran de todo.
Mi vecina es la CDR en Cuba.
Y en verdad no hay nothing that you can do. Chacleteras sin llames con corbata.
Aquí yo vendo hot dog, pero en Cuba yo era médico.
Les saco el dedo y digo Q. Sweet home Hialeah. Solo 30 minutos de Le Fallo. Oh, sweet home Hialeah. I hate your traffic, but I love you.
All right, hey everybody, and welcome to a special edition of East 10th Street Boys Fast Break edition. And the reason why we are all together, first off, there was no East 10th Street Boys yesterday with me and Alex, because as you can tell, my voice is a little deeper. I am getting over some, whatever you want to call that, head cold. But Alex is supposed to be here, but his computer or his iPad shut down on him, so he's updating it. Thanks, Alex. But we got the one and only Miami Clutch on the bottom there with the awesome picture, and we got Mr. Neil Gadara on the line with us. How y'all doing? Neil, first with you, man. How you feeling?
Dude, elation, dude. Real, just pure joy. What an experience we all were treated to yesterday. I'm feeling great. Life's good, and the Heat are in the finals. Let's go.
Love it. Yeah, there you go. The Miami Heat defeated the Boston Celtics in Game 7 after Game 6, getting our hearts torn out. I'm going to let Clutch go over that story. But just our hearts being torn out in Game 6. But then the Heat turn around. And, after seeing all the Boston fans all over social media just keep hammering us and hammering us and hammering the Heat and keep saying, we got this. We told you so. We told you so. I said, just wait. History's on our side. Let's see the response. And what a response in all four quarters. Clutch, 103-84, Miami over Boston. How the hell are you feeling today, my man?
I mean, today's really the day where I got to fully talk my talk and celebrate, really, because I think I said it in the chat yesterday. Yesterday, for me, it was more of a relief, like a stress-free, just okay, because man, it felt, after that Game 6, it felt like I literally, when I saw that ball go in by Derek White, I felt like crying because it was that bad. It was a gut punch, and it was a terrible thing to witness that I don't wish on any sports fan, because that was horrible. And going into the Game 7, I was like, okay, man, I don't feel good about this. They took our souls. They snatched our livelihoods that game. I don't know how we're gonna respond. But before the game, a little anecdote, I saw it, Jimmy always talks his talk, right? After the game, after they lose, they're like, we're gonna win the next one. It's fine. We're gonna come out with a win, whatever. But at some point, I get with Jimmy, I'm like, okay, dude, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. But when I saw Eric Spoelstra, he guaranteed a win, I was like, okay, that's different. And guess what? He didn't disappoint. Dominated the entire game, and I feel great right now.
Man, let me say something very quick. First off, I agree with you 1,000%, and we're going to touch on that in just a second. Alex has sent him the link. What a slacker. First off, Daniel Moreno, thank you for tuning in. Adam Sadowski, great to see you all. Everybody tuning in. You're watching East 10th Street Boys Fast Break Edition, celebrating the Miami Heat's win. We're going to preview the finals of the Miami Heat versus the Denver Nuggets. Smash that like and subscribe button. We appreciate you. Daniel says 10th Street was loud after about 11 last night. I know my mother down there was going crazy. She told me that the train was going off, pots and pans, Everything was going down crazy down in Hialeah. What I'm shocked to see though, Daniel, is what you're writing there. 49th Street was dead, not a car in sight. What's this? What street did I see on Twitter? I thought that was 49th Street. I'm so used to the 06 and the 13-14 finals where going down the street and hitting those pots and pans and beeping our horns and waking up the neighborhood when the Heat won those finals. You're telling me 49th Street was dead? I'm shocked. Let me go ahead and send Alex this link. Let's see here.
You know what? I think Dan is saying that at one point it was dead, and then it lit
Blew
up.
up? Is that? Oh, okay.
I think.
I'm sorry. Oh, I got you.
Yeah, because you're right. 49th Street was live last night.
I saw a whole bunch of videos. Shout out to Only
That's what I was wondering. I saw videos of Twitter. I'm like, okay, never mind. I didn't. Okay.
Somebody literally stole a stop sign and was going.
Dude, because I wanted to feel that vibe, and I'm so happy I got to see it on Twitter because I really wanted to see that vibe.
So let me just say, because Clutch touched on this, and I want to talk about it. I think we're all in the same boat, and Alex is going to get in here, and he was just telling us a story before the show started, before he got kicked out, about his son's reaction. I mean, that's the crappy thing. Oh man, Daniel, that is awesome, dude. That's cool. That's what my mother said. She said the same thing. She said it was dead, like it was quiet. My sister was out with her kid getting pizza, and all of a sudden it just blew up. The train was going off. People were it was just awesome. That's what I love about Miami. We were talking about it the other day. You know, when other teams win, they burn down the city. They do stupid stuff. When Miami, of course, they tore down the stop sign. But when Miami wins, they don't do that shit. We just celebrate. Man.
Good ass time, yeah.
Yeah, brother. So, but I was just saying that 0.3 seconds or whatever, 0.1 second, freaking White shoots it in. I thought we had won. I was jumping. I was going nuts after Smart missed the three, hugging my father-in-law, screaming. Of course, I was using whatever energy I had left for Beat's sake. And then I saw them do this. And my heart, I went, stop. I just told everybody, stop. And when I saw that finger go up and the ball comes up, I just walked to my room. I was done. I took a cold shower. I was stressed. I was like, this sucks. It felt horrible. But you know, at the same sense, though, as the game, I felt like Clutch, where it was like, I think this is it. I think we're done. And I didn't want to admit it. But then the more I thought about it, as we got closer to game day yesterday, I was like, that might have saved us. That might have saved the season. Because I think Boston used up whatever they could to survive, to keep it, to go to game 7, where Miami knew they had it, and they were like, no, we got this. We're okay. And when you hear Coach Spo say, I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to get it done. When you hear Jimmy Butler say, we're going to get it done, I was cautiously very optimistic. I got nervous again when Alex came back and said, oh, not early, but fourth quarter blowout or something. I was like, oh, shit, we're going to lose because he's a jinx. But we ended up doing great and winning. Oh, hold on. Alex is back. Hold on.
He is a jinx.
He's
jinxing black magic didn't work this time. Jeez. Dude, Paulie, I want to touch on that a second because I'm with you on that. I live in San Antonio, and when Ray Allen hit that shot, you know, these people died. They killed them, and it snatched the souls out of the Spurs. And I know that pretty well because I was here in this city when it happened, and I was very worried about Game 7 because we saw the Spurs wilt and just that invincibility that they had of the fundamentals are going to get them through. When Ray Allen hit that shot, it destroyed that, and they were beatable, and we took them down in that game. So I expected, you know, us to have heart and grit and battle, but I just thought it would be really hard, and man, did they prove me wrong. And what a true grit John Wayne performance, dude. Straight up.
Okay, hold on. Great points by Neil. I just got to get Alex in here before he disappears again on us. Alex.
I'm having some major technical difficulties today.
You know, I really want to get in. I want to get to the talk about the Heat. Well, the win last night, but we were talking about Game 6 and the heartbreak of Game 6.
Oh.
And I wanted you to finish a story about, like, your son. He's watching this game. Like my son, your son, very into basketball. My son's getting really into it now. I mean, I have to take him to the park every day. Shoot, he makes a basket, he goes crazy, loves the Miami Heat, loves playing the game. Had to go through the heartbreak first. And I told them, they're not done. We have game 7. Can we win game 7? I don't know yet. It's like, so talk about your heartbreak, and then let's talk about yesterday, game 7, the Heat doing what they're supposed to do and going back to the NBA Finals. Game 6, sir.
Well, for me, I automatically teleported to the famous Allen Houston shot over Zoe. It was game 5 at that time, the clincher, and it was I think 1 point something seconds left, or 0.5 seconds. So that's what it felt to me, for me personally. Seeing my son, obviously, after Jimmy makes, we go through the review, Jimmy makes it through free throws. Everybody's super excited. We win, and obviously, my mindset kicks in. I'm like, there's 3 seconds left. This game's not over, dude. I've seen a lot of shit happen in 3 seconds. And I'm like, I tell myself, I try to prep him. I'm like, this game's not over yet. And he's celebrating. He's running around the room, jumping over the sofa. I'm like, dude, this game's not over, because I know what could happen. And I'm like, and the way the season has gone, you knew, there was that feeling that I'm like, this is not over. There's no way we're going to win this series like this. And then it's just the outburst of emotions. Once the replay, what really triggered me is when they do that still shot in that replay and it says 0.1.
Yeah.
That dude. Right there. You're like, dude, there's no way. I automatically, when the game was over, you're in shock. The arena's very quiet. But my mindset was, I'm like, it took the Celtics everything to win 3 games in a row to be able to go back home. They're gonna relax. We're not gonna be shut down emotionally, because Spo's gonna get them ready. They're hungry. The way Jimmy played, he wasn't gonna end the series like that, because he was very pensive. He kept doing this little fake, very tentative. Bam was tentative. I'm like, there's no way this ends like this. And I'm like, they're going back home. They technically came back from 3-0, so they're going to be exhausted. They're going to be drained. They're going to get comfortable. They're going to let their guard down because they're at home, and then obviously the rest is history. That's why I told you, Neil, I'm like, don't worry, we got this.
We our network chat, Neil was coding.
Yeah, I was just stoned. I had nightmares all night. I couldn't sleep.
It was horrible. It was horrible.
I didn't go to sleep till 4:30.
I didn't want my son to see my face.
Dude, it was 3 seconds. You thought we won. Everybody thought we won. The Heat misses the 3, and you think it's over, and then they do the review, and it's like, what the hell? What's up, Kat? Good to see you, brother. Thank you for tuning in, as always. Everyone, again, you're watching a special edition of East 10th Street Boys, Fast Break, special edition, Miami Heat advance to the NBA Finals. Let's talk about last night, Alex. We'll go ahead with you, then Clutch, then Neil. Alex, like you said, a lot of people went into last night as Heat fans with really little hope. Some of them, I was cautiously optimistic as the day went on. I was saying how I was just completely drained, and then kind of thinking about it. Excuse me. Thinking about it, thinking, man, the Celtics did everything they could to beat the Heat in game 6. The Heat came back and they got that 1 point over, but the Celtics put all that up, and then they were going nuts. And, then you listen to Coach Spo, then you listen to Jimmy, and you hear what they're saying, and you're going, okay, wait a second. I'm getting a good feeling about this. Now, it's cautiously optimistic. You and I texted each other, and I think they only led 1-0. The Celtics' only lead was 1-0 at the beginning. And then from then on out, Miami took the lead and never let it go.
Yeah. Game 7?
Yeah, was it game 7? Was it 1-0?
No, game 7, they led 9-4.
9-4?
Yeah, they were up 5 or 6.
So we're going to get to that, Harrison, and thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you for taking the time. Cap for Life says, Heat are 2-8 last 10 meetings versus Denver. What game plan, boys and girls? We're going to talk about that. Alex, we'll talk about that. But let's talk about game 7. And as we're talking about game 7, I'm going to go ahead and switch up the overlay, and we're going to welcome the one and only, the traveling Justin Garfield, who's in the house. Let me go ahead and pop him in here. Make sure. Kabooyah. There he is. What's up, Justin?
What up, guys? Can you hear me okay?
We hear you good, brother.
Yeah, so I am in Toronto, north of the border. And last night, believe it or not, I was watching at a bar right outside of Scotiabank Arena, formerly the Air Canada Center, at this bar called 11. And I'm watching with two diehard Raptors fans who are diehard rooting for the Heat, not just because they hate Boston, but also because of Kyle Lowry. So I made
Of
some
course.
friends up here rooting hard for the Heat. So happy when we won Game 7. Back in the NBA Finals. Feeling awesome.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Alex, let's go ahead and start with you, man. We were talking about Game 7. Tell me what you thought about it yesterday. What stood out to you? And then we'll go ahead and get the guys' opinion. Again, it'll be Clutch, Neil, and then we'll go ahead with Justin. And then we'll follow up with some more questions. But yeah, your reaction and thoughts of Game 7 last night.
Well, overall, to preface, when the moment I heard Spo's press conference, I'm like, this is gonna be good, because this team has faced adversity throughout the whole year. Nothing has been easy. Everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. We've basically overcame every little hurdle, little by little. Going from up to 3-0 to down 3-3 psychologically, that's one of the biggest hurdles. But what stood out to me was the disposition the moment it started. I wanted to see how they started. I didn't care about the lead. I know they were missing shots, but they were decent shots. And I wanted to see how they ended that first quarter. The defensive intensity was there. Caleb Martin played out of his mind. The development of Caleb Martin, the growth of Caleb Martin in front of our eyes. People don't understand this. Like, Caleb Martin was cut by the Charlotte Hornets of all the organizations, and he has reinvented himself. I'm honestly more comfortable with Caleb Martin shooting than I sometimes see, like, even a Jimmy Butler shot or a Duncan Robinson shot. That's how legit he's playing. Defensively, he seems to never run out of energy. Bam was a little tentative at the beginning. He got a little aggressive as the game went on, but defensively and assist-wise, he was the counterpart that we needed. Jimmy played amazing. You saw his confidence again. He wasn't second-guessing his shot. He kept on attacking at all costs. But the number one thing that I took from is the discipline in which we played with yesterday. We were laser-focused. We were disciplined throughout. That's one of the things that the Celtics have. The Celtics have a very undisciplined nature where they're talented, but they cannot sustain it. And in the regular season is different. You're playing multiple teams. You're not in a 7-game series. That's why I don't take any account into these regular season series with the Bulls, with the Bucks, with the Nuggets. Playoffs is completely different. This is a 7-game series. This is when you dissect every single player and every single play on that roster. Sometimes in Denver, we're coming off the back-to-back. I'm not going to consider that right now. We're going in, we're hot, we're focused. I understand what happened the 3 games before with the Celtics. I understand where we got lazy, where we started getting passive, because this series really changed when we were up 9, game 4 in the third quarter. This became a series at that moment. It was going to be a sweep. And at that particular moment, I don't know what happened. I cannot explain it to you, but the momentum shifted completely. So we took our step off the gas, but you saw the same team that you saw in the first 3 games. You saw that team yesterday, a team that's hungry and that they're not playing like Clutch likes to say, they're not playing with their meat right now. So it was refreshing to see on the road a team overcome adversity, and out of all the teams, you knew this team was the one capable of doing that, because Celtics, my opinion, were gassed. I know the Tatum injury is not going to help. I really hope they don't start using excuses now with the Tatum injury. We lost Hero. We lost Oladipo.
Already.
Like, there's no excuses, man.
You haven't been
It's
on Twitter,
unfortunate.
huh?
It's part of the game, but we're going off.
You haven't been on Twitter, huh?
Oh, excuses all day.
You haven't been on Twitter?
Not today, no. They're using.
Oh,
Are you
no,
serious?
all over the place. But we'll hold it on that. Let's go with Clutch, man. Your thoughts on yesterday's game? How you feeling today, man?
Like yesterday, like I kind of like alluded to, you felt like you were like me personally, because like I can be sometimes before pregame I can be somewhat pessimistic. I thought, man, are we really gonna walk into a funeral? And then it was crazy that Boston threw their best punch early in the first quarter, went up 5, and then the whole game got flipped upside down. I think the Miami taking control, like real control of the game, really started with somebody that we haven't mentioned yet. When Haywood Highsmith ripped Jason Tatum and took it out for a layup, I think that's when the momentum of the game,
that dude his
the
flowers,
control
man.
of the game went to Miami. I know they were up 10 at that point, but
Still,
once,
you're right.
but yeah, you have the player that does not play much. He played his first minutes in the series, I think, in Game 6, and coming into the game in the first quarter, ripped their best player and took it to the house for a layup. I mean, that changed the momentum of everything. I think Spo realized that you cannot afford even 2 or 3 minutes of Cody Zeller, right? So they're like, okay, those 2-3 minutes,
Not this
we're gonna
series.
put Highsmith in there. We're gonna go small. We're gonna have basically Jimmy was playing center for a little bit, and that's what they did, and it ended up being they went up at that point and never looked back. There was a small run in the third quarter, and guess what? Caleb Martin turned into Kobe Bryant for like a quarter because everything he was throwing up there just went in, and it was amazing. I feel amazing after that game, and I wasn't even like celebrating until like there were like 6 minutes left because I wanted to be sure. But man, that was a great game. It was I gotta thank the Heat because they didn't make me have a heart attack by having a close game into the fourth quarter and kind of like celebrate. You can celebrate it with 4 minutes left.
My
I mean, bro,
Tati
after
told me I had
Game
to
6,
chill
bro,
out.
what
She
else
said-
do you have?
Tati told me to chill out. She's like, do you need some what's that damn thing? Oh my goodness, that calms you down to forget the stress. She thought I need to take some stress medicine because I was like, even though we were up by like 15, I'm still was like a little nervous.
Yeah,
you never know.
I was like, I don't trust it. I don't
trust it. We got 4 minutes left.
bro,
I don't trust it.
Trusted it.
Spo didn't
No,
take out the
exactly
starters
moment
until
when
like
I trusted
1:30
it.
left. Or
Yeah,
I don't think he took the starters out until the end of the game because I think they wanted to stay
yeah,
there.
to 30 seconds.
Yeah.
yeah. The exact moment where I trusted it was when I saw Duncan Robinson taunting the crowd.
Yes, when he
I was
was like,
like-
yes.
I was like, yeah, if you're
I said it to us, and it's over. It's over.
if you're getting shit talked by Duncan Robinson, it's time to go to the concession stand and ask for a refund.
Let's
And people talk about Caleb, the ascension of Duncan back into the lineup. That is
Dude,
something that
I
he's
was
not
gonna-
a defensive liability anymore.
I was going to talk about Duncan.
He straight up blocked Jaylen Brown.
let's very quick before we get to Neil, because Justin's been sitting there quiet. Yeah, he's there in Toronto. But just your
That's
thoughts.
Justin's ear.
Yeah, that's his ear canal. That's ear canal.
Yeah,
But
I was
Justin,
going to say it's really tough to hear in here, but I'll give my thoughts real quick because I'm going to have to go after this. I'm at a
Understood.
partner dinner for work. Well, yeah, watching the game last night, I love Duncan taunting the crowd. That's when I knew as well, okay, we're going to the finals. You can't just do that at that moment and not expect the win. And just seeing it, it's kind of reminding me in a way of 10 years ago in 2013 when the Spurs in the West swept the Grizzlies, who weren't expected to be there. And then over here in the East, the Heat took 7 games to knock out Indiana. Well, we're right back in this situation. You know how 2013 ended? With the championship ring.
That's true.
And so I like our chances here. I know it's going to be tough. The Joker, all that crew, Nuggets looking really good. So I'll check in with you guys next week in the heart of the finals. But for now, let's go Heat. See you guys next time.
all right,
Love you,
Justin.
Justin.
Brother. Appreciate you, man.
Enjoy Toronto, my man.
Thank
All
you.
right. It's Justin out in Toronto on business, but hey, he wants to be. He was a part of this, as he would never miss a show. He's an awesome guy. Neil, your thoughts, my man? Game 7.
Guys, honestly, we're privileged to have been a part of that. There are so many sports moments that, there are so many sad sports moments, as a South Florida fan that are out there. And then there are some really badass ones, and we all know what those are. And last night was just one of them, dude. And I'm jealous that Bobby and Alex, you guys got to experience that with your kids. My son, he's 15 months old, so he was asleep. And I'm going to have to tell him about it one day, and we're never going to have that experience, but you guys will, and that's really, really cool. I'll say this about the game, like you guys leading up to it, or maybe like some of you guys, I was nervous, man. I mean, it took me about an hour before the game to really start feeling any like, all right, you know what? They can do this. They've already proven me wrong up to this point. They have a chance, and I think a lot of it was just because maybe I got caught up in the media hype, that regional network stuff. And really just my flashbacks from 2013 when we ripped the heart out of the Spurs and, what we did to them then. But as I'm watching the game, I did not want to allow myself, even when we took control of it, because if we're really being honest and we're looking back on that game, we took control of that game like Clutch said. When Highsmith made that hustle play and you just saw the team continuously hit those threes and get all of the second chance points, and just that zone, it worked so early and so often, and it never cracked. It never cracked. And you could just see that throughout the game. Boston would make these mini runs, and they never got close, other than that one point when they took it to 7, and then Caleb passes to Duncan. He hits that 3. It's back to 10. And then it was just continued to just be us putting it out of reach. I got to say, I know, and we're going to get to Bam, and I guess I'll leave that out of it because maybe we'll talk about that in a second. But Duncan Robinson, all year, I guess he just wanted to wait till the playoffs to show his multidimensional self, because out of nowhere he developed a dribble drive game, and it's effective. He can get to the rim. Who would have thought? And when he blocked, who did he block? Y'all,
Brown.
Jaylen Brown.
He blocked Jaylen Brown in a key moment when the Celtics were trying to make a run. He blocked
Playing
him.
freely.
He's just not in his head. He was hitting the shots again, And you're right, Alex. He was not a liability defensively in that game. They tried to exploit him, and he did not crack. He bent a little bit, did not break. Strus also stepped up defensively, played some great minutes, hit some great shots. And then Kyle Lowry too, man. He decided, you know what, my performance in Game 6 was shameful because it was. So let me just do something here. And he did. So, and obviously Caleb Martin becoming, blossoming before our eyes. We got him for 2 more years on a very team-friendly deal. That's amazing. Okay. I agree with, I don't know who said it just now, and we'll probably get to the Heat Nugget series, but these guys proved me wrong, and I don't know how they're going to do this, but they're going to win it. They're going to win the final.
So before we get it, we're going to touch on that right now. And Cap, you're in the comments, brother. I see you. Awesome. I agree with you. I don't want to hear any of those Jason Tatum injury excuses. That was BS. That's BS, dude. And Boston fans
Jimmy's been playing with an
Robert
exactly.
Stomach flu.
I'm sorry, dude.
Come on.
Yeah, no, all this. I don't want to. Well, I'm going to say it anyway. All this shit talking during the series and before this year. Yep. The Green Mamba. The Green Mamba. The Green who? Oh. Mamba? The hell are you talking about? That dude, man. I don't know, dude. And then every time they were on a little run, he was just fine. He's running. Every time he misses a shot or somebody,
it's like he goes right next to the camera guy. Like, shoot me real quick.
Dude, he's like that. I'm saying so. I don't want to hate it. I'm not hating on no kids, dude. But I'm just saying. I stopped liking. Jason Tatum as a player is legit, no doubt. Okay,
dude, you're right, Jason. There's something wrong with Jason Tatum. I agree with you. I'm soured on him.
During that bubble series, every time they focused on him and then his son, I'm like, I don't want to see the kid anymore. Like, ever since that time, I just don't like Jason Tatum.
Bro, I'm gonna say it. The kid has a punchable face. Like, you want to punch that kid.
Like, your kid Deuce.
That's it, bro. That's what you want to say.
He's like this, it's like, dude, I want to see the game.
I'm suspended again. I'm gone.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. Anything is possible. What's up, Violet? It was the Paul Pierce effect. But before we get into, we're gonna get all that, and keep putting your comments below, and we'll react as we go. But we're gonna get into the Nuggets. But I just want to throw some facts out there. First off, I want to ask: is it going into East Coast? We brought up Caleb Martin. Everybody's doing it. Here's his numbers. Okay. Yesterday, what a performance, dude. What a performance.
Amazing.
Okay, 26 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. And these weren't garbage points. These were impactful shots. When the Celtics went on a little bit of a run, he killed them. So, look, I know, the finals averaged out. Here's his numbers in every game, but his finals numbers averaging out 19.3 points per game, 6.4 rebounds per game. He was 60.2% from the field. 48.9% from 3, 73.8%. Look, not going to argue Jimmy Butler getting Eastern Conference Final MVP. But before that even happened, to me, Caleb Martin is the real MVP of these Eastern Conference Finals.
Oh, yeah.
You guys, anybody agree or disagree?
Totally agree with you, Bobby. I think Jimmy got it because the first 3 games he was playing at an amazing pace. And I think the voters kind of gave him the credit for that. His stat line in Game 7 was awesome, too, if you look at it. But I agree with you. Caleb Martin was my Eastern Conference Final because he kept the ship awry during that just terrible.
He was Jimmy. Like, Jimmy, people were shitting on Jimmy, but you saw what he was doing in those Eastern Conference in that three stretch. What he did against the Knicks, what he did against the Bucks. He put it all on the court. He's going to have some bad games. And yesterday he got better. He was back to himself. He closed it out. But sometimes you're going to have that guy an off night. He deserves sometimes an off night. He needs someone to step up. You have somebody stepping up. It might not be the guy everybody expects to step up in offensively. I'm talking about, not talking about all around game, because he showed his value all around game. Talking about Bam offensively, but Caleb made up those numbers. Caleb stood and was there to be that number 2 guy offensively. So
when the offense was drying out, he hit just unbelievable.
Absolutely.
His ISO game was nuts. It was nuts.
He has a killer first step. No one can stop. He attacks the first step. If you notice, like when the defender, if a defender extends his left leg, he attacks that side.
Yeah.
He's one of the best in the NBA doing that. And people overlooked it for a lot of times.
Hey, and that's the thing. Again, you want to, and I want to get Clutch in here just to ask him the same question about Caleb Martin, Jimmy Butler, Eastern Conference. But I just want to say, Caleb Martin, you go with Strus, you go with Gabe Vincent, you go with these guys. People could shit on the Heat culture all they want. This is Heat culture. This is what it does. And I'm talking about just the Heat organization in regards to what they do with players. They make them into guys where you go, damn, this dude's earning himself some money. When it's time for free agency, if Caleb Martin continues this into next year, especially this performance, he's going to earn himself some dough when it comes time when that contract comes up.
Yeah, because he has a PO. He has a player option for the 3rd year. So we only got him on the contract for next year.
That's
he's
right.
He's going to opt out.
He's going to get that money. He's going to get that money. Clutch, man, do you agree or disagree with me, man, when it comes to Caleb? Should he have been Eastern Conference Finals MVP, or was Jimmy the right choice?
Honestly, I have a couple takes on it because I think it's closer than maybe you guys are making it seem, because
that's okay.
I think it's closer. Honestly, honest to God, I think it could have gone either way. And it really did come down to the wire because they showed the voting results, and Jimmy won by 1 vote. So I really think it could have gone either way. I think what the voters do is they vote based on the games the winning team, the Eastern Conference champion, won, and they don't give a lot of credit to the games that they lost. The games that they lost, Caleb Martin was actually way better than Jimmy. But if you look at game 1, 2, 3, and 7, some of them are either pretty close or Jimmy dominated. Like game 1, Jimmy had 35. He dominated the entire game. And then after that, they were kind of close. So I think game 1 pretty much decided the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, because that was just the performance to put everything together. And I don't mind. And honestly, I don't care about the Eastern Conference Finals MVP because it's an award that didn't exist 2 years ago. And I can guarantee you, Jimmy got the award. He's putting it in the back of his house and he's never touching it again because he does not care about the Eastern Conference Finals MVP.
And Clutch, let me just say very quick, you had a great point on Twitter, and I'm sure that was you who brought it up. You were like, look at the picture. Look who has his gear off.
Oh, here it is. Oh, not the same picture, but if you look at that picture I put up just now, how many people are smiling in that picture?
Yeah.
And what one person is not smiling in that
Jimmy
picture?
didn't touch it. Jimmy didn't touch the Eastern Conference Championship.
He did not. And let me just say very quick, and I'll let Clutch continue. It's been what I've been saying, Alex. I send this as a GIF a lot, and I say it all the time. We won. Congratulations. Is the job finished?
No.
Job's not finished, dude. We got work to do. And that's what I love about Jimmy. You talk about the green mamba. You want to know mamba mentality? And again, this is Jimmy Butler. This is not Kobe, God rest his soul. But Jimmy Butler is close to that mamba mentality. He's not wincing. He's not making excuses. He's
Dude, the
not on the
Grant
side.
Williams game, dude. The Grant Williams game, like.
Oh, that was a Jordan-esque thing where did some
I don't
Jimmy
think I've
Butler
ever
made him
seen
pay
a
for it.
player just look at someone and be like, "I'm going to dominate you," and then just do it. You know, just dominate. We were down 7 or 8 points at that point.
Well,
And
remember,
dominate him now.
he did it to Holiday against the Bucks, and we were down in the clincher. When he did it to Holiday, we were down by like 6 or 7 points. And Holiday said, "He's like, there's nothing I couldn't do anything. No one can do anything at that moment. He was going to take over."
I like that, Violet. I like that. What's Miami's nickname going to be when both teams win the championship? He's talking about the Panthers and the Heat. Champa Bay. Way too much about the Celtics, about what the Celtics did wrong, not enough about what the Heat did right.
Oh, but that's the national media coverage. Even you know what pissed me off? Even with Ernie Johnson, like when he went to present the trophy, I love Ernie. I love the whole crew. But the way he presented it, oh, we know we're down here. You know, the home fans are down because your team lost, but we're gonna go present the trophy. I thought Zoe was gonna choke him out, and that's why when Zoe's like, it's like, oh, it's a very proud moment for our organization because all they were doing is
we don't
sorrowing.
give a shit about. We don't care about the Celtics or what we're doing. We just won the Eastern Conference Final. Now we're not done. But we want to hear about that no more. And you turn it on today. You turn on ESPN today. And what do they do? It's all Celtics.
You use that as more fuel. Yeah. Honestly, Greeny's pissing me off. I don't
pay attention.
He's the worst. God.
Jesus Christ.
He doesn't even hate it anymore.
He just doubles down on the same bullshit.
You know how rotten and filthy you have to be a New York resident and cheer for Boston?
For real.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're
and
already
wait until the Dolphins manhandle the Jets.
Yes,
I'm gonna enjoy that one.
So, my goodness. So great point though by Clutch. It's so true. Jimmy's numbers last night. We talked about Caleb Martin played 45 minutes, 26.
But can you go back to that Butler image you had? That looks pretty cool because it looks like Bobby designed it. There we go.
Oh, it's my favorite picture. Like when I saw Bleacher Report put that's incredible work.
It's a great. I love that piece of work, that piece of art. But 26 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists on 45 minutes. He played 45 minutes last night. Behind him, 43 minutes was Jimmy Butler. Butler closed out with 28 points, 6 assists, 7 rebounds.
He had 3 steals too, didn't he?
Yes, he did. And then you got to give Highsmith, which I did think of Alex when I saw that. Highsmith with an amazing steal, even though we were up by 10. He had a game-changing steal.
Spo messed up not putting Highsmith game 6.
Yeah, but he wasn't hiding. Part of me thinks Spo just didn't want to do it, because he.
So let me ask this though, Alex. I'm gonna go with you on this.
Yeah,
because we look at the offensive numbers and we see yesterday again. He's going through the great thing is that other players are offensively stepping up.
Mm-hmm.
Bam is struggling offensively. He struggled last night. He did get a couple shots in, which was great. Got that off his shoulders. Once he got that bucket, you saw that relief, when he got the first bucket. But he closed out yesterday. He played 43 minutes, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, 12 points. What is he doing? If you're I don't want to say a common fan. That sounds disrespectful. I don't mean it that way. But you're watching the game and you're going, God dang, dude, he ain't doing, man. He's missing every shot. You miss a turnover, whatever. But what is he doing? Because there was a play it was like right at the beginning where he did a perfect, and they called him out for it, a perfect screen where and they caused that 3, and then he had that.
Smart fell back and he didn't shoot it.
The following play, Smart fell back and he just went and then we missed the ball. So that's like, to me, that's the story of Bam Adebayo, which is frustrating for me as a fan of his, as a fan of the Heat. It's like, dude, you can do it. You have to have just the ball. Just do it until you. And that's what they're telling him. You see, that's what they're telling him. Just keep shooting until you make it. You're going to do it. But less about the shooting because we know he just has to get over that. He has to do it. He has to get aggressive. That's been a storyline for a year. But I want you to talk about his all-around game. What's the difference you saw yesterday? Or did you not? You can be honest. But what did you see yesterday from him that you said, hey man, this is where he impacted the game positively compared to you're looking at the offensive numbers?
It's what I see. Obviously, I don't sit down and just do the stats. It's what I see in every game. Bam is your anchor. Without Bam, that defense, Jimmy cannot freelance. Jimmy cannot be who he is, or Caleb and be that. And even Gabe. Gabe is a very on-ball defender, in-your-face defender. You need to have a person that can guard 1 through 5, can guard the areas. And with Bam, even offensively, like I tell him, I don't want him to be more aggressive. I want him to keep doing what he's doing consistently, because now what you see is a slight mental block. He's missing those little bunnies that he's used to making, those little putbacks, those little like maybe 5 foot little floaters that he does. And I noticed it right away with a Smart. When Smart did that flop and he didn't get called for it, Bam in the beginning of the year would have pulled that shot or taken one dribble. I don't know. I think he had already corralled his dribble. You just pull it. In against the Nuggets, Bam is going to be key. And me coaching Jimmy as a superstar, as a leader of the team, I guarantee you, game one, they're going to try to get Bam going early. You just, at that moment, there's nothing you can do. You just got to keep shooting. Bam seems to be affected. The only thing is that we even use the example to our team, our high school team. I'm like, if your shot's not falling, if you have that little mental block, it helps with easy buckets. So that's when Spo designs these out of inbound plays where it's an easy bucket, because mentally, when you see the ball go through the hoop, kind of like Jimmy when he was struggling, you want him to just make one. Just make one. Even if it takes you 2 to 3, you can live with that because it unlocks everything. And Bam could be key when these do these high pick and roll switches with Jovic and all that. With Jokic, he's gonna find himself open in the wing. He's gonna find himself open in the top of the key. He has to hit those shots consistently, because that could be the key in this series. They're gonna test him, but Bam, you can always count on him no matter what. Defensively,
let me just throw this out here very quick. It's just very quick.
Yeah.
They're talking about this next series coming up with the Celtics, with Robert Williams and Al Horford. They play tight defense. They didn't really give Bam a lot of space.
Yes.
Joker's going to be a little different. Joker's an offensive guy. Bam might have the opportunity to make some shots, but he has to be aggressive to make the shots.
And I wouldn't be surprised though if they have Gordon guarding Bam. Because Jokic is very slow-footed, so Bam can get around him.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So let me just run this for any response. I'm sorry, Neil. Any response to Alex?
What Alex is one, and this is, I think, I want to touch on the frustrating thing that you have with Bam, Bobby, because it's the same one I have. But we understand where Alex is coming from, because he's absolutely right. Bam does like 85% of what you want in a player. You know what I mean? Because he is an elite defender in that if you have Bam in your zone, he is the reason it works. It's him. And the offense runs through Bam. You know, he gets the ball at the top and you just
Robinson. Robinson is because of Bam.
And Robinson is because of Bam, because their two-man game is amazing, and Bam elevates his game because, again, they've got to account for Bam's screen pick and roll. So Robinson benefits greatly from that as he's coming off that screen. So we all recognize the amazing value that Bam has to the team defensively and offensively, because, again, the offense runs and flows through Bam, and the decisions he makes are more often than not the right one with the pass. I mean,
and nobody kills you. Did you see the shot he took from the left wing? It was nothing but net. So there was moments as you just got to keep doing it. Just keep shooting. Just keep shooting it.
But where Bobby and I get frustrated and other Heat fans get frustrated is that when Bam has Derek White, under the basket.
Yes. Thank you. I didn't think about you.
Hey, which, by the way, I got to give flowers to Derek White. Derek White played amazing. He's one ugly human being, but he played amazing.
In that situation is where the 15% comes from. Because I'm like, dude, you have Derek White.
You should bully him. That should be an easy bucket.
Drop step and dunk. Drop step, dunk. I mean, why is that not happening? And maybe it's just because he doesn't have that low post game, obviously. And he does turn the ball over a lot in the low post, and that's unfortunate. But yes, I'm very happy with Bam.
He was fumbling the ball out this series.
And what I will say about this series and Bam's usage, because Alex is completely right, it's not so much that Bam is going to be my X factor per se, because I think there is another X factor in this series. But I think that Jimmy is going to try to get Bam started early so that they can collapse the defense a little bit and focus on him more there so that they can open everybody else up. But I do think that Aaron Gordon might be on Bam, and the matchups are going to be interesting. I'll say that.
I have it here about the matchups, and I'm going to talk about that. Before we go on, we're going to move into our finals preview. Again, let me thank everybody for tuning in to a special edition of East Century Boys Fast Break. We got Clutch in the house. of course, Alex the boy, Bobby El Gringo, Neil Herrera down in Texas, the prosecutor, the man of the hour. Every time I watch Dateline,
that is a perfect name, bro.
I'm saying,
prosecutor.
Once he has the free time, we're gonna do another podcast with him. Someone else. This is be the prosecutor sports talk, something like that. We're gonna do something cool like that. But
that is cool, man. I like that.
I'm always coming up with. I have a whole list. But anyway, but every time I watch Dateline, I think of Neil. I'm like, that's what Neil does, Todd. That whatever that guy's saying, Neil was that case would have been done. They don't know who did it. Neil would. No, but but as we're moving on here, I just want to touch on some facts here, or in regards to Heat. We're gonna get to the finals preview now. First off, this is something my wife asked me yesterday. She came in the room, Alex, and she was dying laughing. She said she wished she recorded it so you could see it. But she asked me, she's like, Bobby, after the game was over, do the Miami Heat have a real chance against the Denver Nuggets? And I said, did the Miami Heat? I go, what the hell is that? I go, did the Miami Heat have a chance against the number 1 seed Milwaukee Bucks?
Who are you?
Yeah, I go, did they have a chance against the New York Knicks? Did they have a chance against the number 2 seed Boston Celtics? So get the hell out of here. What the kind of question is that? She started laughing and walked off. But let's look at that. Miami Heat. Okay, Alex, we had our show. We discussed it. I showed you my bracket, but in regards, I did see Miami going to the Eastern Conference, but facing Boston, but losing in 7. We didn't really, but we didn't. It was a tough thing because what Miami did during the regular season. But after that Bulls game, then you see what they do against Bucks. You start to believe in them a little more. We talked about. I told you we agreed. Miami's more, especially Jimmy. Miami's more of a playoff team than they are regular season. They're more successful as a playoff team.
Absolutely.
They showed it this year. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If the Heat could get in the playoffs, anything can happen with the Miami Heat, especially with
injuries. Injuries. They were finally healthy for the playoffs. Injuries played a lot.
Majority health. If we had Oladipo, especially Oladipo and Tyler Hero, but Oladipo, I think a lot of this would be a little more simpler. But let me go. 2 in playing games. They lost the first. They won the second. They're the 8th seed in the East. They're the 8th seed in NBA history to go to the NBA Finals. They beat the Milwaukee Bucks in 5. They beat the Knicks in 6. They beat the Celtics in 7 after taking a 3-0 lead. This is what's great about the Miami Heat. Pat Riley has been the 25% of the NBA Finals in league history. He's 3 as a player, 10 as a coach, 6 as an executive. Coach Spo, I don't want to hear any more about he was lifted up by LeBron and Wade and Bosh. That is a load of crap. This is his 6th NBA final, his 2nd with Jimmy. And with a roster, if they want to call it a roster of undrafted. What a damn playoff season for the Miami Heat. And as we discuss this, and as we look at that, it's time to talk about our upcoming opponent. No one gave us a chance against Milwaukee. For some reason, no one gave us a chance against the New York Knicks because it was in Madison Square Garden, whatever the hell that meant. We beat their ass too. Then we played the Celtics. No one gave us a shot. Even when we were up 3-0, we did give up 3 games. We won game 7. No one is going to give us a shot here. I'm talking nationally. Cat for Life brought it up a little bit earlier. The game, we're 2-8 or something like that. Let's see if I pop this up here. Excuse me. This is the regulars. This is this season. The Miami lost to the Denver Nuggets 124-119 on December 30th, and then the Nuggets beat them again 112-108. But regular season is not the postseason. This is different. Talked about Tyler Hero. Should they bench Tyler Hero? Chris Hines tweeted that the Miami Heat guard Tyler Hero is ramping up workouts and is expected to make his return in Game 3 of the NBA Finals. So, Clutch, starting with you, sir. Tyler Hero, Game 3. How should he be implemented in the game? Should he come off the bench? Should he start? Your thoughts?
Well, the first question of whether he should or not, or he should not play, hell yes, he should play. He's still a 20-point per game scorer. He's still incredibly talented on offense. And I think you bring him back in the role that made him the most effective, which is off the bench in the NBA Finals, because there's not enough time to implement him back into the starting lineup. Even though I know technically he could go over Max Strus in the starting lineup and it'd be fine, I think, because, Strus hasn't really given you that much. except for like the last few games. But I really have not liked what Strus has been doing, at least in the Boston series. So in my head, I was like, you would kill for Tyler Hero in the starting lineup right now instead of Max Strus, and then you have Duncan Robinson off the bench. But you don't have time to implement Tyler back into the starting lineup and get him into the rhythm they're in right now, because Miami's in a really good rhythm, and you don't want to do that. So you want Tyler Hero to come back. To say otherwise, I think it's stupid, because he's still one of the most offensive talented players in the league. Not just the Heat. He does stuff on offense that you don't see a lot from most players in the league. So saying that if anybody thinks he should not come back, I think that's just stupid, because he's a fantastic player. He can play offense, and Spo has shown the ability. If there's a liability on defense, he can hide it in a zone. He can hide it in different special ways. Tyler is, you need somebody like Tyler in this series, especially when I think the difference in this playoff matchup, the finals matchup, is going to be the others, not the stars, but the others. Who has the edge? I think that's going to determine the NBA champion.
Love it. Let me run by numbers very quick because we're talking about that. But the Denver Nuggets, and we'll get the reaction from the guys in regards of Tyler Hero. But the Denver Nuggets are led by two-time league MVP Nikolai Jokic, superstar guard Jamal Murray, and they're the number one seed in the Western Conference. They defeated the Timberwolves in 5 games, the Suns in 6 games, and swept the Lakers in 4. The Heat, led by Jimmy Butler, 8th seed, we talked about it, beat Bucks in 5, the Knicks in 6, and shocked the Celtics in 7. Numbers to know: the Nuggets have scored 119.7 points per 100 possessions over their 15 playoff games. That's the most efficient offense a team has had through 3 rounds of the playoffs in the last 6 years. Since the Cavs scored 122.1 through 3 rounds in 2017. The Nuggets have done it against defenses that ranked 10th, 7th, and 12th in the regular season. In the conference finals, Denver scored 15.8 more points per 100 possessions than the Lakers had allowed through the first 2 rounds. The Nuggets ranked 3rd in the playoffs in effective field goal percentage with 55.9. They're also 1st in turnover rate, having committed just 11.7 turnovers per 100 possessions, down from 14.7, 23rd in the regular season. Their assist turnover ratio, 2.27, is the second best mark for a playoff team with at least 10 games played in the last 25 years. The Heat rank 6th defensively, 111.5 points per game, allowed per 100 possessions in the playoffs, having faced 2 offenses, those of the Knicks and Celtics, that rank top 5 in the regular season. The Heat themselves ranked 3rd in the regular season in opponent turnover rate. In these playoffs, Jimmy Butler has 10 more steals, 35 total, than anybody else. Alex, touch on Tyler Hero after this, but listening to those numbers, what stands out to you, man?
Well, I'll say this. I understand statistics, but the Denver Nuggets have not faced any defense this postseason like they're about to face right now. And we faced maybe, I would say maybe a slightly decent offense. Well, Knicks were heavy with Brunson, very reliable on Brunson only. With the Bucks, we didn't get to see much of the reliability of the viability of Giannis, but Denver plays beautiful basketball, beautiful team basketball, led by a point center, the best passing big man of all times, realistically. So it's a tough task. Defensively, I expect some zones. We can get into those details later, but this seems like the perfect matchup, the culmination of the final of the NBA season shouldn't have been any else but these 2 teams, because they play the most beautiful basketball on both conferences. They're both well coached. They have pretty smooth, free flowing offense. The Denver runs the 5 out, which is constant motion all around, and you basically Jokic picks his poison for the opposing team. So the attention to detail that comes to this series, that's what's going to make the difference. They have size, we have athleticism, the hero factor plays in the. I believe if we take one game in Denver, if we take the first game or even the second one, I believe we have a shot to win this in 6. The hero factor, I believe, comes into also. I don't want to say desperation mode, how much you need him, but I feel the second part of what Clutch said. If Hero comes back, I will put him automatically in my starting lineup, depending who I'm going with. I don't know if they're gonna run and still start Martin, or they maybe start Love because of the size of the Nuggets. But I want to keep Robinson off the bench, coming in with Lowry, and possibly playing with Martin. That unit is working, and Highsmith. So it's not. He's been gone for what, 3 weeks or 4 weeks at the most, a month. He played with Vincent the whole year, the ending part of the year. So it's going to be an easiest transition. I understand getting up to game speed, but he's not really out of shape. He's not out of game shape because he just broke his hand. He still worked out. He was still running. So if he had like a leg injury, I will be a little bit more reserved because you have to rev him up. But this is just a hand injury. So it's more comfort, more mental. That's why he's getting these reps. He's clear for contact. So if he comes back, and I think he will, I insert him right into the starting lineup and keep my bench unit flowing because that starting unit, you got Butler, you got possibly Martin, you got Bam, you can cover for that. You got Vincent. So I have no issue putting him right back in there.
Perfect. Neil, let's talk about the elephant in the room, no pun intended, for the big guy, Joker.
Yeah.
How can the Heat keep Joker in check? How can you defend the two-time league MVP? Do the Heat have anyone on their roster, or can they put a game plan together to keep him in check?
You know, the biggest problem that Joker, the biggest problem that we're going to have with Joker is that you can't leave him on an island, or he's just going to pick you apart with his passing game. I mean, he's just going to distribute the ball and get it out to everybody, and it's going to be insane. Or he's going to be able to score at will. You know what I mean? It's not. So I don't think that any one player is going to be able to stop him because it's impossible. Like, you literally cannot put one dude on him, or he's just going to pick you apart, So I think it's going to have to be the zone. That zone is going to have to really stop him from distributing the ball the way he wants to, because that's his biggest strength is his passing. I mean, yeah, he's an amazing offensive talent, but getting everybody else involved is what ignites that offense. And if we can stop that from happening by employing that zone, then I think we'll be okay. So I don't think it's going to be one player. I really think it's going to have to be a great effort, which I think the Heat are capable of doing and will do. I mean, I think Joker might get the points on us. You know what I mean? He's probably going to put up 25, 30, but we're going to do a good job of stopping everybody else.
That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
Who we need to probably try to keep a lid on.
I like that. I know everybody's focusing on Joker, and I get it. I'm talking about people in the comments there. I see 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3 in there.
Man, he's going to change his name. He has to change his name. That's it. Let's not read his comments anymore.
Everyone tuning in. First off, thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate you. But I don't know how you could stop Joker, but I do know that you could hold down everybody else. If it has to be a way. Alex or Clutch. Clutch, I'll let you roll, brother. And then Alex, you could respond.
Yeah,
I'll follow something. I know you got something. I know you do. You're at home. After you're done coaching your son's team, you're there writing a
scientist over there.
Clutch,
drawing up the defense, baby. Let's go.
Is Neil right on the money with how you defend Joker? Is there another way? Can you see anybody on our team being able to defend Joker to stop him?
I go back to 2020 in the bubble when we had that matchup in the second round against Milwaukee, and everybody's like, how are they going to defend Giannis?
The wall.
And Spo kind of invented a way for other teams to defend Giannis from that series, which is build a wall. Jokic is a different player, but what I'm going here is Spo. There might be something concocting in Spo's head that we have no clue about how he's going to defend Giannis, Jokic. And I think I've seen some plays in the last couple of days of Bam has actually played Jokic as best as a lot of people could in the NBA.
the best.
I disagree a little bit with Neil in the sense that the zone is the way to go, because I think Jokic is such a skilled passer that he can pick apart his zone. Because the way to beat a zone is by passing the ball, right?
Dribble,
And
penetration, and pass. Yeah.
yeah, he's just gonna catch the ball in the free throw area and dish it out to whoever's cutting or whoever's open, and he's great at that. I think it's just about throwing different types of bodies at him. Bam obviously starts on him because I think he plays him really well, but you have to avoid foul trouble. If Bam gets in foul trouble, you're in danger of possibly a blowout in any game if you get Bam in foul trouble. So it's just about throwing different bodies at him, giving him different looks. You're gonna see, and you're gonna be like, why the hell is he on him? You're gonna see Jimmy Butler on him. You're gonna see Caleb Martin on him. You're gonna see Haywood Highsmith on him if he plays. It's gonna be something like that.
You
And
just made a point there, Clutch. You just made
yeah,
a point there, Clutch. And I'll piggyback quickly on it. I see a lot of instances where Butler might be on him because I feel, because of his size and athleticism, I feel I would put Caleb Martin on Jamal Murray because they switch on those high screening roles. They switch a lot, and I don't mind switching with Bam as long as Bam or Jimmy. I think Bam or Jimmy are going to have the major assignment on the Joker, but you also the zone you can throw at times to throw him off because you have Jimmy freelancing as a free safety basically. When Jimmy plays off the ball, if you notice, they did it against Boston this past series, where they removed Jimmy from the focal point, like from the point of attack, and he was kind of like on the weak side, and Jimmy was roaming, and he was just reading the picks, reading the situation, reading the flow, and Jimmy's like a predator in that aspect. Jimmy's a killer, so you don't want to overuse him. I'm very doubtful that they'll use Love. They might use it at times for size because you don't want Joker to be able to see, which is why you don't want Vincent guarding the top. Because if you do switch, he's just looking right over him. You're not gonna have Strus on him. You're not gonna have Robinson. I think Strus and Robinson will probably be with Porter Jr. But the key point, like you mentioned, I'll give Joker 40 points every night. I just don't want to give Joker 11 assists, 17 rebounds. That's how you lose this series. If Joker has high assist numbers, that means that people are shooting well, people are getting open, people are cutting to the basket. I will live with Joker scoring 40 points a game if he has 5 or 6 assists, 7 or 8 rebounds, and you keep him under control in that aspect because it's going to take a team effort. No one can stop him. You can contain him, you can minimize the effects, but if the keys here, Porter Jr., Gordon, Jamal Murray, you got to count. That's another All NBA, stud. So it's going to be very creative how they implement even the Highsmith effect. Vincent will probably be guarding at times. Even you might even see him guarding Porter, depending on the situation. So that's the good thing. We have people that can guard up, where they're guarding high people that are taller than them. But with Joker, the main set is you want to clog. You want to create a cloud so he can't see. You want to disrupt those passing lanes. So it's going to be fun. But you made a good point, Clutch. There's going to be Bam will probably be in charge of stopping Joker in the beginning of the series. I see it happening, but I see either Bam or Butler.
So if I could add a little bit to your point about Kevin Love.
Yeah.
I think you're right in the sense you really can't play Kevin Love. I don't think so initially, at least, because that's kind of giving Jokic a pass on playing defense because he's going to be covering Kevin Love. He's not going to be on Bam because Bam moves way too much. So they're gonna put him. He's gonna rest on defense.
You could also pull him from the basket. If he's covering Love, he has to go out and defend the 3-point line.
But if you put Caleb Martin over Kevin Love, I mean Caleb's been shooting 48% from 3. He's pulling anybody out either. He's putting it out too. So I just don't think
Malone is not going to have him guarding Martin.
Yeah, but the thing you want on offense in Miami is to make Jokic exert energy on the defensive end. Keep him move, keep him off balance. Yep. And I think the best way is probably not going with Love right away.
I want to say something very quick. and I'm going to read what Nikolai has done in 12 games versus Bam Adebayo. But I see a lot of the comments in there, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Whether you're watching YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, again, appreciate you. I understand the concern I'm seeing in the comments of Joker with his Heat team, and again, just like the Bucks, how are you going to guard Giannis and Chris Middleton and those guys? Just like the Knicks with Brunson and those whatever and Julius Randle, just like the Boston Celtics with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and company. We were like, how are you going to guard Jason Tatum? You don't have superstars. That's. I think the Heat can get it done. Again, somebody I forgot who put it in earlier. Anything is possible.
That's KG.
That's funny. Yeah, anything is possible. So again, it's not about one guy. It's about 5 guys on the floor for the Denver Nuggets. They got a squad. They got a good team. But guess what? The Heat, the team of the undrafted, they've shown they could hang with anyone. The Heat have shown they're a true team. It's not relied upon the superstar in Jimmy Butler or the all-star in Bam Adebayo. A guy like Caleb Martin could take over the game. The Heat just has to take care of it, figure it out, get it done. Joker in 12 games has not scored ever 60 points and 13 rebounds on the Miami Heat 2-3, 4-2-3. He's averaged 22.2 points a game, 11.6 rebounds, and 6.8 assists against Bam Adebayo. The highest score he's ever had, was back in 2018. He scored 34 points, 15 rebounds, and 3 assists. Okay? He had 19 points in December, and he had 27 points in February. So let's look at the other player on the Nuggets. If you're not thinking about Joker, Neil, who else are you thinking about?
Jamal
Murray. Okay. So if somehow, some way, the Miami Heat figure out how to manage Joker, where, he's going to score, but he's not going to take you out. What can they do? How do they manage to hold off Murray?
I agree wholly with what Alex was saying with putting Martin on him or potentially even Bam even getting up there too on him at times. I think will be important as well. I mean, I know Bam's primary assignment is probably going to be Joker, but I envision him and Jimmy taking Jamal Murray at certain points of the game because, again, the same concept that applies with Joker would apply to Murray, except for the fact that I'm not too worried about Murray's passing game as much, So I do think that, maybe pressing Murray as he's bringing the ball up with Gabe, or Martin is going to really help slow that
Gabe
offense down. Because I think Caleb and Gabe will definitely be doing that pretty much every game. And I think that will kind of take Murray out of his rhythm as he's bringing the ball up, maybe force Murray to get rid of the ball and have to work off ball, which he doesn't do as well. So, I mean, I think that is definitely what the game plan would be against Jamal Murray. And I think it's doable. I really like how we match up with Murray and the other guys. Because even if you think about Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon, I mean,
make them beat you. Make them beat you.
Those guys don't scare me. Michael Porter Jr. at this point is a 3-point spot up shooter. I mean, he doesn't really do anything else.
He rebounds. He rebounds pretty well.
Oh yeah, well the rebounding. I mean, the hustle play is fine, but offensively, his game is just to get behind the 3-point line and stand there.
And now that you mentioned Joker, I wouldn't be surprised if at times you see them double teaming Joker the moment he gets the ball at the point of attack. They might throw like a little soft double team to get the ball out of his hand, so that you might see quickness with Martin, Vincent.
They might do that to Murray too, as Murray's trying to put the ball. They'll double him up top to get the ball out of his hands in the corner because Joker's going to be more in the middle. So they might be trying to do that as well.
What's crazy, I read a stat line that Bam or the Heat, I forgot what it was, that the Heat switched on 40 out of the 58 pick and rolls in Game 7, and the Celtics only per possession, the Celtics were only able to score 0.59 or 0.6 points per possession. I'm like, they switched everything, bro. Everything.
Let me just answer Anthony very quick.
Because
he asked this earlier, and I did see it, Anthony. I apologize I didn't get to it, but I will now, and I'll let the guys respond. Clutch, Bobby, Neil, Alex, take it away. Your fandom for the Heat. who has a deeper bench, the Nuggets or the Heat, or is it about even? Let me just say, and this is totally, and Alex knows, I call it as I see it. It's just what it is. Because I'll joke with him about being homers and all this whatnot. It's the Heat. The Heat have the deeper bench. You know why? Because the Heat can do more with their bench. I mean, it's just what it is.
More versatile.
Yeah, and you know, I'm looking. Let's go over the Nuggets roster. Of course, you got Joker, Murray, Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon. You got Bruce Brown.
They're only really playing 7 players.
Yeah, you got Bruce Brown. He's averaging 12 points per game. Cardwell Pope is averaging about 12 points, 11.7 points a game. Jeff Green, 4 points. Christian Braun, 2.3. Then DeAndre Payton. I mean, I'm looking at this, and
they really just got Jeff.
You could
Green
maybe say
and
their starters
coming off the bench.
Their starters. If you look at the Heat starters compared to the Nuggets, you could see. I can see where you lean towards the Nuggets. You go, man, they got a good squad. But you look at the Heat, look at their starters. You go to their bench, and that number doesn't drop.
It's an easeless transition. What I like about the Heat bench, it's a transition. Like literally, Jimmy could go out, and Caleb comes in, and you don't lose anything. Like that's
y'all made. I'm persuaded by that. Initially I would have leaned toward the Nuggets, but as you unpack that, you changed my mind.
Yeah, no, I have to go Heat.
They really just got Green and
I'm not being biased. I'm taking, you know, I'm just saying. I mean, and you look at that because the Heat do more with their bench. The bench was one of the main reasons why the Heat beat the Boston Celtics. It was their rotation or players. So. Yeah. You could look at the Denver Nuggets and you could see by the numbers that their offense, their team runs through their starters. When you look at the Miami Heat's team, when you look at the Miami Heat, they run through the entire. It's the same as the 2006 Finals team. It's all 15 players.
Well, and Alex's point on the seamless transition is spot on because if you think about the Heat and how their rotations work. You're bringing like in for like. You're not changing the offensive strategy when you bring in the bench players versus if you think about Denver, you know, when Jokic goes out, you change the offensive strategy. It flips.
It's Murray. Murray becomes heavy. Yeah.
Murray becomes, but when the Heat do it, it's the same thing. You know, it's just like for like, and that's mind-blowing experience. It really is.
Let me get Clutch's opinion here as we go on, and we got a couple more questions, and then we'll wrap this up. Of course, we're excited. The Miami Heat have defeated the Boston Celtics. Nothing better than seeing Celtics fans cry. Gotta love it.
Did you see Pat Riley, bro, walking out of the arena smiling, like walking down the stands?
So happy.
That was amazing, bro. And you see the other guy like,
yeah. I saw him talking. But yeah, you know, again, Heat in the NBA Finals are going against the Denver Nuggets, the number 1 seed. Denver Nuggets, we know damn well how strong they are. Can't sleep on them, but we're telling you why it could happen. So, but before we go there, Clutch, you're hearing us about the benches. Anthony's question. What's your response to Anthony's question?
God, the question said with taking your like bias aside, we're gonna sound so biased because everybody's saying the Heat, including me. But
look at the numbers. Look at the numbers.
Yeah, if you look at going back to the Boston series for a second, the second half of that Boston series, the games we lost and the Game 7, they were about Duncan Robinson, Caleb Martin, and Gabe Vincent.
Yep.
Those are guys. Listen, as defenders, we're not even talking offense right now. Gabe Vincent and Caleb Martin specifically, they're not scared of whoever you put in front of them to defend. They're not scared of Jason. Caleb Martin's not scared of Jason Tatum. Gabe Vincent wasn't scared of Jalen Brunson. Caleb Martin wasn't scared of having a few moments going up against Giannis. So the thing is, our undrafted players, our bench, our support guys, the thing that separates them from the Nuggets and what they do, I just think the Heat are tougher. They're not scared, and they're not going to be scared with whatever matchup. You're not going to see Gabe Vincent freak out because Jamal Murray's having a good quarter. He's going to assess the situation, come back, and try to stop it. He's not going to freak out. He's not going to panic, and that's why I put the Heat bench over the Heat bench and the Heat lineup in general over what Denver is going to do, because I just think Miami has so many different ways to attack somebody, and their deep bench is one of the reasons why.
So let me start with you, Clutch, on this one. And Anthony, I see your question, your hypothetical question. We'll get that towards the end. The one about what you think Pat Riley may do even if they win a title. We'll touch on that. But let me go ahead and start with Clutch on this. And then we'll get into the predictions, and then we'll get into what Anthony's final question, and then we'll move on out. But Clutch, which player or players on the Heat have to step up their game in order for Miami to have a chance against Denver?
I feel like a lot of you guys are gonna go with Bam Adebayo here, and I this is just a prediction because I see how Neil ticks. I see it all the time. But seriously, I don't think it's just one guy. I think the guys I named, Gabe Vincent, Caleb Martin. I can't name one. Both of them. I think they have to play the way they've been playing in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I think they're the X factors. We're not going to talk about. I'm not going to even consider Tyler Hero in this because it's all hypothetical until he actually returns. So we can't make him an X factor or somebody that has to play better or whatever. But yeah, I can't name one guy. It's Gabe Vincent and Caleb Martin that they need to keep up their level of play. They don't even need to step it up. They need to keep up what they're doing.
So I think that's a great answer. I agree with you. It's not just one guy. And 2-3-4-2-3 says Max Strus, Lowry, and Robinson are three players. They got to step up. Caleb, I trust Caleb Martin. I trust Gabe Vincent to do what they're supposed to do. I'd like to see Kevin Love, if he gets the minutes, make a difference. But those three guys that I mentioned have to be on the money when they get their opportunities for the Heat to have a chance. Bam Adebayo, yes. And I get that. You're right. It's an easy answer. We're talking offensively. I want to be more good. But as long as he does his job defensively and in spreading the floor, making the offense run through him, that he have a shot. Alex, same question. What player or players have to step up, in your opinion, to have a chance against the Denver Nuggets?
Well, I agree. I'm going to piggyback kind of like what you got, both of you have said. I believe it's not stepping up because I'm not even going to bring Strus into the situation. I believe it's a continuation, the whole team, because we're going to face a team that really has no weaknesses. Celtics had the talent, but they're very undisciplined. This team, which is also a testament to sticking together and seeing it through, it's not just changing scenarios or changing coaches. Mike Malone has been the coach, I believe, for 8 years now there. Spell for 15. These are two very disciplined teams, very hungry teams. So it's just a continuation of the mental mindset, which I think you see the seriousness in them. I'm not even going to talk about the physical attributes or what they got to do on the court. I believe it's a continuation of the mental mindset that you have going into this game 7 against the Celtics. I believe that has to continue. You have to be on all-go mode. And then everything else will come through. You're going to miss shots. Keep shooting. Don't get down on yourself. Keep playing defense, because that's one thing that happens. When we start missing shots, which is human nature, the defense starts lacking. You can't do this against Denver because it will tear you apart.
Alex, let me just say to your point, and it's so true, because here's the difference between Boston and Denver. When Boston talked about their matchup with the Heat, you knew that you felt them, that you felt with them, even with their fans. When I'm talking about the Heat, the Boston team, that they were like, we got this. We're going to win. We're going to the finals again. We got it. And that kind of bit them in the ass. They didn't play like a team. They played like individual players. They got annoyed of each other pretty quick. Came back to bite them in game 7. When I look at Denver and the way they're approaching this game, it's going to be a tough-ass matchup. Just saw Mike Malone pop up.
Oh, yeah.
He says, as I told our team, forget the 8th seed stuff. For those that are thinking this is going to be an easy series, I don't even know what to say to you people. This is going to be the biggest challenge of our lives. End quote, Michael Malone. They're taking this pretty damn serious. As you know,
recognized game. That's respect. That's respect.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough series. But let's follow up. Neil, Clutch predicted. Is he right? Is it Bam Adebayo has to step up?
Say it.
He just baited Neil.
I can see why Clutch would think I would want it to be Bam, but to be honest with you, I don't have a problem necessarily with Bam's game. I mean, yes, would I want him to be more aggressive at the low post? Yeah, but everything else he does it works very well with the team, and it's a huge help. But the person I think who is going to be most directly linked to our success is going to be Jimmy. And the reason I say that, it's not that Jimmy needs to step up, but this team cannot win if Jimmy doesn't ball. They can't. I mean, if Jimmy has an off game, they'll lose that game. He has to play like he played in Game 7, Games 1, Games 2, and Game 3 of the last series, because it's not just the scoring that he does. He brings that attitude. You know what I mean? Even when he, like I said, we all saw Caleb Martin. He was doing well. But I think that whole team feeds off of Jimmy's confidence and his energy. You know what I mean? They do incredible things because they believe that if they are in trouble, he will save them. And that's what I think he has to do, is when the offense isn't, firing on all cylinders for that 1 minute, he has to be able to get the ball and put it in. He has to. And I am very confident that he will. And that's why I think Jimmy is the most important player for us. Because, again, if Jimmy doesn't score over 20 a game, or his legs are truly gone, like it was looking like in the 5th and 6th game, then this team can't do it. I don't think. But I'm very confident that Jimmy knows what's at stake, and he's going to get the job done.
All right. Before we go into predictions, let me get his question out of the way. Then we'll go into I have it on here. Don't stop believing, because I said that to Neil after the game. I said that don't stop believing. Hypothetically, Neil, we'll start with you, Alex, then Clutch, and then we'll wrap it up with the predictions. Hypothetically, Anthony Manzano, if the Heat win the NBA title, Neil, do you think Pat Riley makes a big move this offseason and trade for either Lillard or Bradley Beal?
I hope he makes a big move, and maybe it's not Lillard or Beal, but I hope it's someone, because right now Duncan is at the top of his trade value. I mean, he is at a point where you could trade him to a team and they'll actually want him, not just, because they hope he can be something, but they actually will believe he can bring something to them. I think that, you should try to get out of Kyle Lowry's contract, because I don't know what Kyle Lowry is going to look like at this year, and he's an expiring contract that you can attach to Duncan.
He retires after the season in 2K, just spoiler.
Well, and then maybe try to get rid of Tyler Hero too. You know what I mean? Like, maybe try to package them all and send them somewhere where you can get a star and get in another window, because I think about it from a window perspective. I think that this is an amazing run, and I really enjoy this team. And maybe they could carry this success into next season, But a part of me also is like, they also could be a team that's just riding an incredible hot streak, which I'm loving and enjoying, But I want to keep Caleb Martin for sure. I think he has shown enough to where there's definite development, and he's going to go, keep improving. And even if he stays at this level, that's amazing for the team. Max Strus wouldn't be bad to keep on too if you can, but getting another star would be huge. I mean, it would get another 4-year, 5-year window for us toward the end of Jimmy's career, So not Kyrie, no, hell no. But
stop it, Alex. Stop
Embiid, is Embiid happy over there? He probably is, but hey, what if Embiid? What if Embiid's like, hey, I want to get the hell out of here. I just want to play with Jimmy. Tries to force his way out. That would be sick. Or there are even other teams out there, like, you look at the Pelicans. Brandon Ingram would be cool. I don't think you have to give up too much for him. I don't know. There's some stars out there that you could bring to the team.
So I'll let Alex and then Clutch, and then I'll follow up. Go ahead, Alex.
Well,
if he win, hypothetically, should they do a big trade? Your thoughts?
If the win or lose, if we win or lose, if someone becomes available, it will be entertained and a trade will be made. I've been a big believer in this. No matter what happens, changes are coming. Now, to the magnitude of those changes, we don't know to the extent of it, because Robinson has played himself back into the rotation. His value is high. Lowry, you could try to move. It's an expiring deal, so that has some value there. You're going to take back money. Also, people have to keep in mind, this year, this rotation was coming on. You have to make decisions in regards to Gabe Vincent and Strus. I think Strus probably walks. I think Gabe will be retained some way somehow. You got Bouger coming, you got Kane coming, you got Jovic coming. So this team is still going to be revamped little by little, but there will be a move that will be made depending on who becomes available. I think this offseason is going to be record wise in regards to player movement. We still haven't seen anything yet. But I thought about something else, Bob, and I'll send this to Clutch as well to you because I want to see your thoughts on this. If the Heat win, does Pat Riley retire? Because I feel this team is Pat Riley's attitude, but if he wins a championship, he's left the organization in place where it's in good hands. Does he just ride off after winning?
I wanted to finish this point, but damn, that's great. I didn't even think about that, but you know what? I could see it. Because somebody just said it too about Spo, that if Spo wins, he can write his own check and say, hey,
Yeah, but Spo's not going anywhere.
no, I'm not saying he is. What I'm saying is that I could see Riley saying, you know what? I'm done. I did it. I got this.
And when you say that, and I'll let you finish, is the last thing I'm going to say. I think what will go down in Miami Heat history as the best move that Pat Riley ever did was make sure that Spoelstra was named head coach and stayed as head coach through all the turbulation.
Well, think about that. Again, like I'm saying, I agree with you. I could see Riley doing it. I could see it. If they lose, no. If they win, I could see it happening where he steps away. Nick Harrison gets a little bigger role. Coach Spo gets a bigger role in the front office as well.
Adam Simon.
Zoe. I could see that happening. I could see Spo getting a big extension. I could see him getting a more important role. He has a lifetime job with the Heat. That's done. Damn. And before I get to the trade part, I'll let Clutch answer your question, and then I'll let Clutch answer Anthony's question, and before we do our predictions.
You kind of stole my flow there, Alex.
Sorry.
I was going to bring up something along the lines, right? I don't want to talk. I'm going to keep this short because I don't want to talk much about off-season moves because I think it's just bad juju right now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep it short. I do think if we win a championship, Pat Riley's goal was to get Miami another championship without LeBron James.
Yes.
And he's kept that in the back of his mind this entire time. I think once he accomplishes that, I don't think he's going to retire right away, but he's going to do moves that will keep the Heat in good shape for many years to come. I think that's what he does before hanging it up. Maybe not next year, but takes the whole year to trade, get assets, bolster the team, keep them competitive, whatever needs to happen before hanging it up and leaving the franchise in very good shape for the next person that takes charge. If they don't win a championship, they make a more aggressive win now move. I think that's where I'm at right now, and I'll just keep it short to that point.
I think it's a great point. And I will say, just to respond to Anthony's question, if they win the championship, I don't know. I don't think it will be I can't see a big trade because of the assets, because you're not including Bam unless something drastic happened with the Heat organization. But I think Tyler Hero, Kyle Lowry's on the table. That's a big contract. I think that even if the Heat win, you still got to look at what happened during the regular season. They struggled. They had a tough time. They need to get better. Okay, it's a great playoff team, but they have to get better in a regular season to be more competitive and get that second option offensively, I guess, to Jimmy Butler. So if they lose, maybe more aggressive. But I think if they win, I think a deal still gets made. I think the Heat saw what they could do moving maybe without even a Tyler Hero, but obviously we know what he could bring. You can include a Tyler Hero. He's your value trade. And then you got the money situation with Kyle. And you can actually bring multiple players to help balance out the team. And first round picks. You know what I mean? And still you could go, okay, we still have Bam, we still have Jimmy, we could be competitive.
I hope they don't move Jovic. That's one of my goals.
No, they can't.
I hope they don't move Jovic.
So not after what we did, but after our draft show when we went nuts for Jovic.
He's a lifer.
And that's my 2 cents, Anthony. All right, final Anthony's prediction. We'll go with that, and then we'll go ahead and roll with Neil, Clutch, Alex, myself. His prediction for the NBA Finals, and he's a Heat fan, but he's going to be realistic. He says the Nuggets will win the series 4-3 in 7. Neil, agree? Disagree?
Heat in 6.
Heat in 6. He's stealing my thing. Clutch.
I'm gonna preface this before anybody gets mad at me. I've said this for every single series, and Alex is a witness. Heat in 5.
I thought I remember that last time. Never mind. I do that. Sorry. All right, Alex.
I'm gonna say Heat in 6.
I'm gonna say, I think the Heat take 1 in Denver, and I believe they're gonna split it in Denver. They're gonna have 2 good games in Miami. Miami's gonna shock people. I think we're gonna hear the same shit from ESPN. They'll all come back. Heat in 6. Heat in 6. It's not biased. Nuggets in 5. Yeah. What was your prediction? 2-3-4-2-3. What was your prediction with the Bucks and the Celtics with the Heat? Be real. Be honest. What was your predictions? Because I guarantee you, I'm pretty sure you didn't pick the Heat in any of those.
Well, they didn't give us a chance against the Bucks.
Again, I'm just gonna say, I know I'm tooting my own horn here, but I don't give a shit. I had the Heat over the Bucks. I had the Heat over the Cavs, even though we faced the Knicks. I did have us losing before they even played them we had them in the matchup. I had Heat versus Celtics. I picked the Celtics. He said I had them Celtics at 4. I had them sweeping. All right, you know what? Be you, brother, because you might be the reason why
3%.
You could keep
3%.
You're the 3%. We appreciate you. All right, Clutch. Any final thoughts?
Hey, here's a fun fact. Every single series, this playoffs, Miami has been up either 3-0 or 3-1. I hope Miami keeps it going. And again, Alex is a witness. I've always said this, and I'm going to finish off this whole thing saying this. Miami goes as far as Jimmy Butler takes him. And as long as you have Jimmy Butler, you have a chance to win the whole thing.
There you go. Alex?
Well, I just want to put this in perspective. The next 2 weeks are going to be absolute chaos here in Miami Sunrise, because we got a Heat game, Panthers game. Heat game, Panthers game. Like, honestly, 49th Street and what would I say? Maybe Sunrise Boulevard for the Panthers. It's going to go absolutely apeshit, man. Like, and when the Dolphins come around and win the Super Bowl.
Imagine if the Heat and the Panthers win the finals.
God.
Holy crap, dude.
If
Shout out Matthew.
Panthers win the finals,
yes.
The Lord will come down and take us.
Yeah, that's it, right? Yeah, that's it.
The rapture will happen, and he'll take all of us.
And I'd be okay with it.
And
I'll be fine. Take me, Jesus.
My life would at that very moment.
When we get beamed up, we get beamed right back to Miami. We're like, what the fuck? And he's like, this is heaven, y'all. And we're like, yeah.
Hey, 2-3-4-2-3, man. Thank you for tuning in, man. Everyone, thank you all for watching. We appreciate you. Smash that like and subscribe button. Anthony, Cap for Life, Daniel, Christopher, Anna, Violet, which is Josh Kimmel. Everybody for tuning in. Harrison talking trash, but that's okay. Him and that gap tooth he got now. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in.
You
Smash
got a
that
tooth?
like. Yeah, he busted his tooth. He's like a chip. You know what he chipped it on, right?
On this.
On this dude. All right, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. Smash that like and subscribe button.
Go Heat.
Thursday, game 1. Let's go.
And
go
time
Heat.
to hunt. Go Panthers, baby.
Time to hunt.
Time to hunt.